What's up everybody, I'm HoopsandHipHop, and today is finally the day. Pokémon Ultra Sun and Moon have finally been released, and I'm sure many of you are going to be playing it this weekend. Now, I don't usually upload on Fridays, but of course I had to today to celebrate the release of the games, and what better way than to take a closer look at the mascot of these games, Necrozma. Now, Necrozma is a very interesting Pokemon that we are sure to learn a ton more about in Ultra Sun and Moon, but there are some things that we already know about it that are also pretty interesting, and that's exactly what we're looking at today. These are 10 interesting facts about the Prism Pokemon himself, Necrozma. Necrozma's name, among other things, seems to be most prominently comprised of the word necro, meaning death, and ozma. This part of the name comes from Project Ozma, which is a study started in 1960 in order to search for extraterrestrial life. This background reveals the sinister side of Necrozma, as it both confirms it as an alien Pokemon / possible Ultra Beast, and that it is basically out to kill worlds by stealing their light. That's pretty intense for sure, but I also think it makes Necrozma that much cooler because it kind of vilifies it, which we haven't necessarily seen in a whole lot of Pokemon, but I'm glad they did it with Necrozma because it will certainly make Ultra Sun and Moon that much better. It's interesting to note that the two new forms of Necrozma, Duskmane Necrozma and Dawn Wings Necrozma, are classified as being Necrozma despite looking much more like Solgaleo and Lunala, just with bits and pieces of Necrozma attached to their bodies. This might be explained by the fact that Necrozma's ability is called Prism Armor, and the Necrozma parts of Duskmane and Dawn Wings Necrozma do heavily resemble armor. Now, to kind of sidestep the facts for a second and throw in a theory, because I'm writing this script before Ultra Sun and Moon's release, but if this was intended as Necrozma's armor that's attaching to Solgaleo and Lunala, then it would be reasonable to believe that we might see a third form of Necrozma without its armor on. I just wanted to throw that out there, and I suppose we'll all know soon now that the games are officially out. If we look closely at Necrozma's face, we can actually see several different colors in its eyes and around the mouth area, and if we count the number of colors present, that number comes out as 7. Furthermore, if we examine which colors specifically are present, we can see red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, and violet, which are the colors of the rainbow. This is a very interesting detail because not only is Alola based on Hawaii, who has the Rainbow State as an unofficial nickname, but Pokemon Sun and Moon themselves were also known as Project Rainbow before their official announcement, indicating that Necrozma was going to be, in all likelihood, the featured and most important Pokemon of this generation right from the start. Another interesting thing about Necrozma's design is that it has a star on the back of its head, which has a number of interesting implications. The first is that if you recall back to before Ultra Sun and Moon's release, the rumored Pokemon game was called Pokemon Stars, and even though the validity of that rumor was kind of left up in the air, the fact that Necrozma has this star on the back of its head and is the featured Pokemon of Ultra Sun and Moon leads us to the conclusion that this rumor was true all along. Additionally, this star combined with its black coloration and the previously mentioned Necro part of its name could suggest that Necrozma is partially based on a black dwarf, which is a dead star that has ceased to emit light. This makes perfect sense considering the dead part of Necrozma's name and the fact that Necrozma itself makes different worlds cease to emit light by stealing it from those worlds. Another possibility is that Necrozma could be based on a black hole because black holes are famously able to suck in light and prevent it from escaping, similar to how Necrozma steals light itself. Even something as simple as the color of Necrozma's body fits in perfectly with its design, because the color black actually exists as a result of the absence or absorption of light, which, as we've discussed before, is literally the entire concept behind this Pokemon, so it's amazing to see just how well this Pokemon's design comes full circle. Another thing that furthers the connection between Necrozma and Solgaleo and Lunala even more is that Necrozma actually learns the moves Moonlight and Morning Sun both at level 1 respectively. Despite Necrozma seeming to have a very close relationship with the Ultra Beasts, none of the 10 Ultra Beasts that we know of prior to the release of Ultra Sun and Moon actually share Necrozma's psychic typing. So I've mentioned how the 7 colors on Necrozma's face contain significance, and I've even mentioned how its black coloration ties this color scheme together even more. However, this whole concept of light and color behind Necrozma is tied together even more so by the little bit of white that we also see on its body. This little feature ties together Necrozma's design even more perfectly because while black absorbs all colors of light, white reflects all colors of light, and given that it already features the 7 colors of the rainbow as we said, this just puts the cherry on top to Necrozma's seemingly perfect design. Despite being from the 7th generation, it seems that Necrozma actually has a lot to do with the number 8. It's number 800 in the Pokédex, the star on the back of its head has 8 points, it has 8 letters in its name, and it's more or less the unofficial 8th Ultra Beast you encounter in Sun and Moon. It also comes from a region based on Hawaii, which consists of 8 major islands. And last but not least, we have an interesting fact about Necrozma's typing. Starting in Generation 3, we started seeing the appearance of what I would call box art legendary trios. That is, that the legendary Pokemon that are featured on the box art of the games are all part of a special trio, and these Pokemon are usually the focus of the games. Well, Necrozma, being the third member of its box art trio, is the only third member of a box art legendary trio to not be a dragon type, with Rayquaza, Giratina, Kyurem, and Zygarde all being at least part dragon type. And there you have it, guys, those were 10 interesting facts about our boy Necrozma. Now obviously we are going to learn a ton more about Necrozma in Ultra Sun and Moon, and we're just going to be getting a ton of new information in general from these games, and I'm going to be covering it all on this channel as I will be uploading a lot of Ultra Sun and Moon content over the coming weeks. If you're hyped for the games and want to check out this awesome content, be sure to subscribe because it's going to be a lot of fun. Anyways, I will be back with another Sun and Moon video tomorrow, so be sure to check on back, and until then, I will smell you guys later.